You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of indeterminate length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter, and from our studios in Las Vegas, Nevada, Mr. David Williams. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Tuesday, 17th day of November, 2015. I don't know how many shopping days there are until Christmas, but I'm sure there aren't enough. Let's take a look at the numbers. Oh, happy Tuesday, by the way. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. Whoever you are, wherever you are, let's see what the numbers have to say about this Tuesday. Happy, not so happy, slap happy. All right. And I typically have the numbers at my fingertips, but there they go. Now we're talking. All right, you ready for this? You know, these are cash markets, okay? Not the mini, cash. S&P 500, 12 points, up 12. That's half of 1%. The Dow Jones Industrials are up 104 points. The NASDAQ is up 35 points. And the Russell 2000 is up 7 points. So everything green in U.S. markets. And the S&P 500 is back in the black for the year. Not having such a great November, but for the year, we're in the black. And that's what really matters to the money managers whose year-end bonuses depend upon where we are when the year winds to a close. Now, crude oil is down 87 cents. Gold, down $17.90. Now, of course, our traders are happy, not because gold is down overall, but simply because we had a whale of a trade in gold. So that's the thing about futures, okay? We don't get romantically involved with futures contracts the way some of us have been known to do with stocks. You know, we fall in love with the stock, with its story, with the company, and we get lost. We become irrational. Just as when a young man falls in love with a young woman, love is blind, and he loses his mind, and rational is thrown out the window. That happens, honestly, quite a bit with stocks, especially with small cap companies, just, you know, coming out, emerging, going public, that kind of thing, get in on the ground floor, come grow with us, that type of thing. It's pretty heady stuff. Been there, done that. Left it behind because of all the financial thuggery that goes along with that. If it were just that, if a company could just grow and explode on its own without any monkey business, that'd be awesome. So awesome. I'd probably still be in equities, quite frankly. But alas, I wanted to be in a purely electronic market. I mean, it was like it was like somebody said, okay, what would be your fantasy way of trading? Let me see. Purely electronic, no middleman, no pump and dump, no front running. The CEO can't run off with the cash, the secretary, and the coffee pot. And you know, and while we're dreaming, give me some 50-to-1 leverage, and giggle, giggle, give me preferential tax treatment too. And everybody better knock on wood. That's what trading futures gives you, all of that. I mean, they say if it sounds too good to be true, it must be. Well, hold your breath, knock on some more wood, 3 times if you're obsessive compulsive like I am, when it comes to knocking on wood. Good job. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I mean, we're blessed. We're blessed people, living in a blessed land, trading in a blessed market. I mean, so anyway, gold down, unfortunately, for those who are long gold, unfortunately, it's down $17. Let's go to the Asian markets. The Nikkei is up 236 points. That's just over 1%. Shanghai, just down 1.5 points. The Hang Seng is up 253 points, which is just over 1%. Last but not least, the European markets are all green as well. The DAX is up 257 points. That's 2.5%. The FTSE is up 122 points. That's almost 2%. And the CAC 40 is up 133 points. That's 2.75%. So, there you have it. Europe is green. The U.S. is green. Asia is green with the exception of the Shanghai Index. Oil down and gold down. So those are the numbers on this fine Tuesday, and I hope it is a fine Tuesday for you, whoever you are, wherever you are. Now, they say there's an online broker who is, you know what, I'm not going to share that piece of news because I realize now I just got hoodwinked into an ad. I'd rather talk about this. Wall Street's top performers and what they expect from their bonuses this year. Now, if you have often wondered what it would be like to be a quote-unquote professional trader, and walk the halls of Wall Street, I encourage you to Google, define professional trader. That's your search term. Just anytime you want to know the meaning of something, just define and then the word or the term. So if you go to Google and you type into the search box, define professional trader, last time I checked, after the top 3 advertisements, we popped up at the top with a little piece I wrote, a few years ago about it's an opinion piece, okay? There's a difference between news and opinion. It's an opinion piece. It's my opinion of what a professional trader really is. We think of professional traders as being someone who gets driven to work in a black town car, wears a $2,000 suit, has the $300 lunch with the obligatory 3 martinis or whatever the drink of the day is. But life for the Wall Street worker it's not that. It's not that at all. In fact, I did a post back, how long has it been now? Maybe a month. I might be able to spot it really quick, and if I can, we'll just breeze through it. I won't read you the whole thing. I don't have to because it's what they call an infographic. That's right, infographic. And an infographic is where they use pictures to tell a story. Except I didn't do such a good job of that, but I still told the story. I don't know. I bet it shows up in Google, but I don't know under which search term. But we're going to find it here in just a second because it hasn't been that long ago that I did it. I think the title is, How Much Do Wall Street Traders Make? We got to be almost there. Closing in. It's not what you think. It's surprising, really. Okay, so maybe I'm not going to find it. Maybe I'll find it while Michael's looking, while Michael's doing the recap. Oh, is this it? No, that's not it. Here it is. He found it. All right. How much do traders make? Now, well, let's just read it. The average annual salary of a trader on Wall Street, $103,260 per year, which breaks down to an average hourly wage of $49.64 per hour. Now, back when I wrote this, October 25th, our free trade Sunday night had over $1,500 of available profit, and our free trade Tuesday had over $1,000 of available profit. Just trying to get some comparison going there because there's the Wall Street trader and the Main Street trader, and you might somehow feel like you're less than because you don't work on quote-unquote Wall Street. Now, some might say, that's a lot of jack. Jack, well, is it? If I can make that little thing go away. There we go. Oh, it's back. How do you do that? I should probably mention the figures are based on trading one contract. My guess is the professional trader is wrapping his arms around 5 to 10 contracts. Now that changes things a bit. Now, what is a professional trader? Well, maybe you work for a bank, maybe you work for a hedge fund, a number of different things that could give you that label of quote-unquote professional trader, although if you read the article I wrote, it has nothing to do with the size of your account and has nothing to do with your name on the door. Now, with just 5 contracts, the $1,500 free trade became $7,500, and the $1,000 trade becomes $5,000. There's no magic there. It's just simply a matter of math. Our imaginary Wall Street trader, who is only trusted with 5 contracts, potentially clocked $12,000 over 3 days. Handsome, eh? What if he only grabbed half? Is that fair? 6,000? Depends on how big a broom closet you need to live in. Securities and commodity traders have a salary range where the top 10% make over $187,000. The bottom 10% make $32,000 a year. Now, let's not forget the other 80 to 90% of traders who fail and can't even make a full or even part-time income from this, which I sadly don't have a hard number on the statistic. But you know the articles in Futures Magazine, they always say 90%. 9 out of 10 don't make it. Why? Well, we talk about the reasons all the time. So, hedge funds, maybe that's where they keep the real money, because it's obviously not being made on Wall Street, right? Well, let's see. Salary plus bonus. If you work for a hedge fund, the average salary plus bonus of a senior associate is $99,200 and a bonus of $36,000. Vice president, $140,000, nice $100,000 bonus. Principal of the company, head dog, top cheese, $145,600 and a $157,000 bonus. Now these figures were compiled by Forbes. I just didn't pull them out of thin air. Forbes did. And so who are these clowns hunched around a campfire as the moon hangs low? Traders. Really? Where? Arizona. What do they make? 2 points a day. Is that a lot? Can be. Wow. Can I try? Of course. CFRN.net/apply. And if you've already been down that road, we'll give you a second chance. Now, I said all that to say this. Our goal is to teach you how to make $100 per contract per day. Our 24/20 blueprint is designed to teach you how to go from 1 contract to 20 contracts over a period of 24 months. See, a lot of people, when they hear that we're going to teach how to make $100 a day, they feel insulted. What are you, nuts? I can make that at McDonald's. Okay. But in 30 to 90 days, can you double your salary? Probably not. But that's what happens when you go from 1 contract to 2 contracts, is you double your earnings. Now, McDonald's, it's not risky. Well, I don't know. You could get burned with the grease from the fry machine, or you could slip and fall. But they've got insurance, and you'll be covered. The difference between working there and making $10 an hour and sitting at a trading desk and making whatever it is you make is that if you slip and fall, you're just going to have to pick yourself up. If you get an owie, you're going to have to go in the bathroom and find your own first aid kit. Trading is risky. You can lose all of your money and then some. Even a hard stop can get jumped in a fast-moving market. Do we teach you how to guard against that and what to do in the event it happens? Yeah, we do. Now, this year, 2015, has been the year for the equity trader. Revenue at stock trading desks is up, and big names are landing huge rolls. Early indications suggest that total compensation is going to increase for the top performers. According to an annual survey by Wall Street recruiting firm Options Group, total compensation for equity professionals in the U.S. will go up 9% from last year on average. The survey takes in the views of the top 25% of performers at the top 100 firms in each business line. They are asked what they expect to earn for 2015, which includes their base salary through 2015 and the bonus paid out in early 2016 for the work done up through 2015. You might not know that, but the annual bonus, the Christmas bonus as it's often called, they don't actually get it until January. Now, that means there are some caveats to the numbers which only take in the views of the top performers and could be overly optimistic or pessimistic on the bonus payouts. It has been a horror show in fixed income, currencies, and commodities. Well, we didn't know that. Those working on commodities, credit, securitized products, and emerging markets are all expected to see a drop in earnings this year, according to the report. Here's a breakdown of total compensation for U.S. investment bank staff from Option Group survey. All right, private wealth management, you're going to make an extra 10%. If you're in derivatives, an extra 12%. If you're in commodities, you're going to be down 10%. They tricked me with this article. They're not revealing the actual figures. I'm going to have to go to Option Group and get the actual numbers. I'll give you the actual numbers if they share them when I come back. Right now we're going to go to Michael and let him, and I want you to read that article after the show, okay? Define a professional trader, because you might be a professional trader and not even know it. You also might think you're a professional trader when in fact maybe you really aren't, okay? Read the definition. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinion on that. Michael's going to come in, do a recap of the live trading room, everything that happened, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the stuff we don't sweep under the carpet. Because that's the truth about trading. See, it would be so it would be so easy every day to just skirt around, the stuff that's not so pretty. But would that be fair to you? No, it wouldn't. And so we always want to be fair to you. And it's just the right thing to do. As soon as Michael is done, I'll be back with our good word for the day. We'll go over the Concierge Trade Alerts from last night. And I'll talk to you about the overall results that we had yesterday, both on the One Trade a Day and on the Concierge Trade Alerts. I did a video recap of both last night. It's out on the Google Plus page. I'm telling you, yesterday was one incredible day. You could have taken care of the whole week, possibly even the whole month, based on what happened yesterday. But we'll talk more about that later in the show when I'm done with or at the top of the hour. We'll go to David one way or the other, get his, at Page Trader, get his forecast from the Edge, and then I'll finish up whatever alerts I didn't have a chance to cover pre-David. I'll do them post-David, and then I'll answer any questions that you have, and that's our show. Michael, take it away. I can see your chart.
All right. Hang on.
I'm going to hit mute.
Here we go.
I will be here when you come back.
Okay, great. All right. Here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, the 17th day of November, 2015. All right. Let's start off with how to take a free trial. Okay. If you're in here and you have not taken a free trial yet, and you want to, just go to our homepage at CFRN.net, and right over here in the right-hand column where it says register for a free trial, put in your name, put in your email, click register for a free trial. When you do that, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click that confirmation link, you are not going to get a free trial because, well, that's what you got to do. All right, that is that. Our results for today. Go here to view live trading room results. Then go all the way to the end, right here where it says click here, view our daily results spreadsheet from today back to January 2nd, and click there. And fill out this little form. And scroll down to the bottom. Fill out this little form. Once you fill out this little form, you'll be sent a link to get into the next session prior to the next session every business day. Sorry, I got some wires crossed there. Today, 11/17, we made 3 ticks in the Russell, 2 ticks in Crude, 2 ticks in Gold, and 5 ticks on the NQ. All right,
It took us 27 minutes and 3 trades to get to our goal for the day. We're up $100 a contract at that point, and we took a total of 23 trades today. So on the month, we now have a gross profit of $2,172 over 12 trading days. That is averaging $181. Net profit with an $8 commission, $356. With a $5 commission, $1,037. Okay, now, hang on. Okay. That's the wrong pad. Here it is. This is what I'm looking for. On the year, we're up $57,500 over 216 trading days. That's averaging $266 per day. $266 per day. Okay. So that's where we stand on the day, on the month, and on the year. Now let's go through the trades. Okay. Now I put the NQ up here the last couple days, and I've been trading the NQ. But you know what? I'm going to give it maybe the rest of the week and see how it goes. But so far I'm just trading a lot, and I'm not making a lot of money on the NQ. And I think trading the NQ is distracting me from some of the other markets. So I'm going to give it a chance. Okay. But you know, I want to keep everything in sync. The better way to do the NQ, I think, might be on an 8-tick range, so there aren't as many trades, and they're easier to see coming. But I'll get into that when I do the NQ. Okay. I'm not doing the NQ right now. I'm doing gold. All right, today in gold, ton of movement after the close of the live trading room. Look at this, and we had an opportunity to short it right there, right there, right there, 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 there. Ton of movement in gold. During the live trading room, though, we had just a couple of trades. We had a short trade right here that stopped us out pretty much to the tick, and then eventually went down. And we had another short trade right here. Now we were at minus 8 ticks after this one, and we gained 10 ticks on this to put us at plus 2. Okay. I don't think we really missed anything in here. Well, no, we didn't really miss anything in here in the gold during the live trading room. Sadly, you know, once the live trading room ended, there was this big move, and we missed all that. On the long side, you could have had a momentum long trade right there. And that's it. That was it. Okay. On the Russell. Let's see. On the Russell. Okay. Here on the Russell. We had, right in here, we had nothing. We had a weekly trading zone. So we couldn't do anything in there or in there, and we didn't actually do anything until way over here. Our first trade on the Russell was right here. We made 6 ticks profit on that one. All right, I missed that. Got a break even on that. 5 ticks profit here, putting us at plus 11. Then we stopped out on this, putting us back down to plus 3. I should put the questions up here. Okay. Yeah, I know, it's at 12 noon. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Anyway, right here, we had stopped out right there, put us back down to plus 3. I missed that trade. And this was the end of the live trading room in here when everything started moving. Got out of that choppy range and just had some great opportunity in here. Beautiful trade there, there, and there. Changed directions, and you had a long trade there, there. Changed directions again, you had a short trade right there, and another one right there, and there. I think I'm going to change the hours of the live trading room from 11:30 to 12. What do you think? All right, so that was it on the Russell. We ended with +3 on the Russell. Okay, +3 on the Russell. On crude oil, let's see. We had some other trades here early on with crude. Here we go. We missed this first trade here. We took this one. We got 5 ticks profit on that. This is crude oil, right? And this is today. Okay. I am missing some stuff here. Okay, we took this one and we got 5 ticks profit. Then, oh, okay, I get it now. Then we took another trade in here somewhere. It looks like it was right here, and we stopped out. And we stopped out. And that put us at -3. Okay. Then we made 3 ticks profit over here. That put us break even. We made 2 ticks profit here. That put us at -1. I think that's it, right? Is that right? -5, -3. No, because we ended up, there's one other trade in here that was a winning trade where we got 3 ticks profit. I don't know where it was. Told you I was distracted today. But there was one other trade in here where we got 3 ticks profit to put us at +2. But we went from +5 to -3 to, oh, you know what? I think we went from -3 right here. We went to -1. So we had 2 ticks profit on this and 3 ticks profit on this. That's what it was. Okay, that's what it was. We went +5, -8 puts us at -3. +2 puts us at -1, +3 puts us at +2. That's where we ended the day. Now, during the break, there was a long trade right here, momentum long trade, short trade right there, and there. A long trade right here, that went about 6 or 8 ticks. Short trade right there, that went about 20. And you could have taken a short there for about 4 or 5 if you wanted to. All right, and that was it on the crude oil. All right, NASDAQ. This is where we did most of the trading because it's just an insane market. Now let me scroll back. Okay, here we go. On the NASDAQ, right here, our first trade on the NQ was right here. We made 4 ticks profit. That was the first trade. Yeah, I guess so. We made 4 ticks profit on that one, and we missed a whole bunch of them. Then we made 6 ticks profit on this, putting us at +10. And I missed that one. And I'm sure I missed other ones in here. I missed that one, that one. And finally we stopped out on this, putting us at +2. Made 3 ticks profit on this, putting us at +5. I missed that one. I missed that one. Had to break even there. We stopped out over here, putting us at -3. Okay. Then the next one, 3 ticks profit, putting us at break even. Then stopped out on that, putting us at -8. Stopped out on that, putting us at -16. Missed that. Missed that. Missed that. There's a trade in here that I did get somewhere where we made 12 ticks profit, and that put us back up to -4. I think it was in here somewhere. I made 12 ticks profit and put us back up to -4. And then we stopped out there, put us back to -12. I made 1 tick there, put us back to -11. Then I made 11 ticks right there, putting us back to break even. I missed that one, and I got 5 ticks profit there, putting us at +5 on the NQ. Now, let's see, during the break, there was a long trade right in here, went a little ways, another one there. No short trades in here until way over here. Okay, that was the first short trade. Then a long trade right here. And wow, okay. A short trade here. This would have been a momentum short, 4 ticks, break even. This one would have been a short trade that actually produced something. This one produced a little bit. And, you know, I wouldn't do this right here because the cycle's flat toward the middle. You know, if the cycle were a little lower, I'd say there's a short trade right here too. Okay. But that was the NQ. The NQ just takes forever for me to explain. The ES, we didn't trade at all today. No trades on the ES. Okay, I missed a couple, it looks like. Missed one right there and one right there. Those are today, yeah. And I'm trying to scroll over right now so I can show you what happened during the break. Nothing in there, nothing in there, nothing there. A short trade right there during the break. Okay, and that was it. That was all we had. So, see, that NQ by itself was 13 trades. It was more than half of the trades all by itself. So on the day, we were up 3 on the Russell, 2 on Crude, 2 on Gold, 5 on the NQ. All right, it took us 27 minutes and 3 trades to get to our goal for the day. We took a total of 23 trades. On the month, we are now at $2,172.50. That's over 12 trading days, averaging $181 a day gross. Okay. Gross profit for the year, $57,500. That's over 216 trading days, averaging $266 a day. Okay. Yes, RBB. Oh, Dwayne's already answered that. Okay. And you got your goal for today. Great, Angela. All right. You know, some larger time frame.
That question might bear the one you said I'd already answered.
Yes.
That's probably a question that everyone might have on their mind at some point.
Okay. The question was, can I open an account and trade with $2,000? The answer is yes, you can.
However, the caveat there is you're limited to which markets you can trade. For instance, the S&P, the Dow, the Russell, intraday margins are $500. And there's some other market, it slips my mind at the moment. It's $1,100, okay? But you see, you got to have room for drawdowns and stop outs. I like to use a rule of thumb of 1.5. In other words, if it's going to cost me $2,500 in margin to trade a contract, then I want to have $2,500 plus $1,250 in my account. And obviously, you can only trade the one contract. And so with the S&P, if you open an account with $2,000, you're only going to trade one contract. So you've got your $500 plus you've got half as much again. So you're well covered. Okay. Now, the reason for opening an account with $2,000, I don't know if all brokerage firms are the same, but the brokers that we use, if you open an account and you fund it with $2,000, that's the minimum balance, you have unlimited access to the simulator. You want to make sure you're consistently profitable in sim before you go live. There's 3 legs to the trading stool: the mechanics, the methodology, and the psychology. You can nail 2 of those legs onto your stool while in sim. It's that 3rd leg that's a little, dicey, because you don't know how you're going to respond to the pressure of trading real money until you actually trade real money. So anyway, back to you, Michael. I just wanted to make sure everyone knew what the minimum was, and you got to, call your broker. Or if you don't have a broker, you can call Bert and Leslie toll-free, 866-928-3310. If you already have a broker, call and speak with your own broker and find out, what would be the appropriate thing for you to do. Maybe you have an equities account. Call your broker and say, hey, I'm thinking about starting to trade futures. Do I need a separate account, a segregated account? Can I trade them out of the same account? And different brokers may have different answers for you. So
yeah, different brokers are going to have different margin requirements too.
Yes,
some brokers will have $300 margin requirements, and they'll have gold at 500. Different brokers have different margin requirements. It depends who they clear through. If they clear through Gain Capital, then Gain Capital pretty much sets some margin requirements for them. But if they don't clear through Gain Capital and they clear through some other place, then you may be able to get a lower margin. Does that include the mentoring too? No, Lloyd. The mentoring is separate. That's a separate thing altogether. Okay, the $2,000 is just to open an account. That's your money to trade with and your money to make profits or losses with.
We're not brokers. We don't touch your money. We don't do the trading for you.
Not involved in that at all.
We're purely the educational arm here. CFRN is an radio station, a Christian talk radio station. We've been online since the spring of 2005. Okay? We're now in our second decade of Christian talk radio, and we began the educational part. Well, it's a long story. I won't go into it all now, but you've all heard it before, or you can read about it on our website. Back to you. I'll shut up so you can finish.
That's it. I'm done.
No.
I'm done.
No, please finish. I insist.
I did. I did. I was pretty much at the end when you came on.
Okay.
All I would have said was, if you have not taken the free trial with us, go here to register for a free trial. Put in your name, put in your email, click register for a free trial. You will then be sent a confirmation link. Make sure you click the confirmation link. There you go.
Okay. All right. Well, if you're sure.
Yeah, I'm done this time.
All right. Then I'll take the charts. Oh, recap of the recap, please.
Today it took 3 trades and 27 minutes to get to $100 a contract.
3 trades, 27 minutes, and you nailed 100 on the head?
On the head.
Okay. Now, what that means, folks, is if today were his first day trading, he used 3 of the 10 bullets that he's allocated. Bullet's probably not a good term to use, considering the events of late. The ammunition, gosh, I don't know what term to use. Available
allotted trades.
Yeah, allotted trades. With our methodology, you're allotted 10 trades each day. Here's 10 trades. Now go make $100 and try to do it in 10 trades or less. Well, on a day like today, when Michael does it in 3 trades, he has 7 of his allocated trades that were not used. So do we just forget about them, throw them out? No, we recycle them. In other words, they roll forward into tomorrow, and they just keep rolling forward. Whatever you don't use, and it's like a giant snowball rolling downhill. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And the reason for it, the reason I wrote it the way I wrote it when I put it all together in the blueprint for you, is to give you some peace of mind, to help you with your confidence factor, because the confidence part of the equation is huge. Now, when you sit down at your desk, now, so tomorrow, for example, if tomorrow was Michael's second day on the job, he would come in knowing that he's got not 10, but 17 trades available to make the $100, whether it's in an 8-tick market or a 10-tick market or a combination of the two. See, some markets pay $12.50 per tick, so you need 8 ticks. Some markets pay $10 per tick, so you need 10 ticks. Bonds pay $31.25 per tick, so you only need 4. Now, it doesn't all have to come out of one market. Since you have 10 trades, if you, like he took 2 trades today, or 3 trades, were they all in the same market, Michael?
No, there was one in the NQ, one in Crude.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, 2 in the NQ and 1 in Crude. That's what it was. 2 in the NQ and 1 in Crude.
Okay. Now Crude pays $10 a tick. The NQ pays $5 a tick, and there's 4 ticks to a point, right?
Yes.
So you need 5 points in the NQ. If you were just trading the NQ, since it's $20, $5 a tick, $20 a point, 4 ticks to a point, you need 5 points to make your $100 per contract per day. So you can mix and match. It's okay. As long as at the end of the day you've grossed $100. Now, gross, not net. You've grossed $100 in 10 trades or less. If you're trading the S&P, for example, I mean, the blueprint assumes that it's going to take you 10 trades every single day. It accounts for and allots for that in the plan itself, in the blueprint. Now, if it does take you, let's say you're trading the S&P, where your round turn commission, with our brokers $5.80, yours may be more or less. If it's more, you should talk to your broker. If it's less, that's awesome. Now, if it takes you 10 trades every single day to make the $100, it's going to take you, well, your net at the end of the day, if you're just trading the S&P, your net at the end of the day is going to be $42 after commissions. And so in order to go from 1 contract to 2, you have to increase your account balance by $2,000. It's going to take you 48 trading days to increase your account balance by $2,000 if it takes you 10 trades every day. Now, all those rollover trades, right? I mean, there may be a day where you're having just a rough day, and it actually takes more than 10. That's what the rollover trades are for. You put your rollover trades in the left-hand drawer and your rollover percentages in the right-hand drawer. And we even have an app that was created by one of our partners. It's called the Daily Performance Tracker. It's in the members area of the website. You can export. If you use the DT Pro platform or if you use the Ninja platform, you can export into the Daily Performance Tracker at the end of the day. And in fact, if you use any, the way it's set up, I think you can use a lot of different platforms, and it will export right into the Performance Tracker. So when you come in each day and get ready to go to work, first thing you do is put on your business manager hat before you put on your trader hat. The business manager hat, you open up the dashboard of your Performance Tracker. You see where you are based on the model of what it should look like, and then you see exactly how many rollover trades you have, how much rollover percentage you have at your disposal. It's kind of just surveying the landscape. It's sort of like checking the overnight, trading action. What were the highs? What were the lows? Just getting a feel for the market before you start trading. So then you pop on your trading cap and off you go. Now, at some point in the day, you'll take the trading cap off, put on the business manager hat. Let's say you're trading in an 8-tick market and you get stopped out with 6 ticks of profit, okay? But you have 150% rollover in your performance tracker. Do you want to take another trade and risk getting stopped out for 8 ticks? Or do you want to just borrow 2 ticks from what you've already earned and put away and be done for the day? See, that's a beautiful thing. And if you need a personal mentoring session to better understand how that works, I'll be happy to do that. Although Dan created a set of tutorial videos. It's at cfrn.net/daily performance tracker. You just got to put a hyphen between daily and performance and between performance and tracker. I guess if I took the charts back, I could show you. All right, Michael,
Okay.
You got a class, so you need to run. Okay, take care.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks for everything.
I'll see you a little later.
Okay. Oh, you got that list I exported for you, right?
I got it, but I can't open it. I just tried to like 4 times and I couldn't open it.
What's it written in?
It's in a zip file, and for some reason I can't open the zip file.
Let me see if maybe I can open it. Hang on, let me just scroll down and find it. What time did that thing come in? Let me just find it real quick.
I started. It was at
There it is.
10:07.
Okay.
12 hours, almost to the minute later than.
Download the data. Okay. Okay. All right. Now let me see if it opens for me, and if it does, I guess I'll copy and paste. It looks like it's dragging its feet. There it is. Okay. So it took me into a window where it says, what do you want to do? I want to extract all files. Whoops. And I'll put it in, I'm going to call it export Michael extract. Okay, I've extracted everything, and I'm going to email you that file here in just a few minutes, okay? Probably
Okay,
as soon as
great.
David starts talking, I'll shoot it over to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
All right,
Thanks.
buddy.
We'll see you in a while.
Okay. All right, guys, we're going to go to our good word for the day. Then we'll hit the markets. All right. We've been talking about tithing, a little something that, makes people uncomfortable because the preacher man, he just wants to get your money. Not to mention that place is filled with hypocrites. Yeah. So, but we're done. We finished that mini-series. Today, we're going to talk about finding people who believe in you. Now, let me get my notes. All right, here we go. Galatians 6:2. You know what? Oh, you know what? No, we already... This is the one I want for today. Philippians 4:8 through 9. Meditate on these things, and the God of peace will be with you. This has to do with keeping a good attitude. Attitude is very important. If you come, wow, we only got 5 minutes till David. So I'm going to have to do the recap after we talk to David, but I'll do the full recap all at once, and this way I won't have to do 2 videos today. So the entire Concierge Trade Alert recap will be done as soon as I finish talking with David, but we're going to go to our good word for the day, and as we're done with that, it'll be time to go to Vegas. Okay? So we'll get the whole thing done. Attitude. Can't even begin to tell you how important that is. Over the years, I run a lot of different businesses, hired a lot of employees, and my successful employees were always the ones who had a good attitude. I never once had a successful employee who made a ton of money who had a bad attitude. Now, of course, you get into the chicken and egg scenario, which comes first. Oh, well, if I made a ton of money, I'd be in a good mood. I'd have a good attitude. Okay. But I will argue that the reason he makes so much money is because he has a good attitude. So, which does come first? Since there's only one of the two that you directly can immediately control, like you can't just immediately make money jump in your pocket, but you can immediately change your attitude. Now, if you're allowing your life to be ruled by your emotions, you're on this wicked roller coaster that not only makes you miserable, but it makes the people around you miserable. And so let's maybe dive in here and figure out how we can get off this roller coaster. When you're going through bad times, your goal should be to keep a good attitude. And with God's help, you can. Dr. Viktor Frankl, a Nazi Holocaust camp survivor, said if a prisoner felt that he could no longer endure the realities of camp life, he found a way out in his mental life, an invaluable opportunity to dwell in the spiritual domain, the one that the SS was unable to destroy. Spiritual life strengthened the prisoner, helped him to adapt, and thereby improved his chances of survival. Here is some practical advice on keeping a good attitude in bad times. I've taught on this before, but I'm going to go through it again today because I think it's so important. My notes got a little jumbled here, but that's okay. The fact that I'm directed to it, I think maybe I need to hear it again. Okay? Practical advice on keeping a good attitude in bad times. Now, it sounds like a great idea. Wow, that's awesome. Actually doing it, pulling it off, yeah, that's another story altogether, isn't it? Number one, always believe the best about others, but don't get bent out of shape when they disappoint you. Nobody is perfect, including you. Just be grateful for the people that bring joy and endeavor to be counted among them. Now, we all know people in our life who are like a black cloud. You know, they walk into a room and all of a sudden there's this heavy, oppressive air about them. We also know people who are lighter than air. And no matter what's going on in their life, they could be having problems with the husband or the wife or a co-worker. They're still positive and upbeat and cheerful. And you wonder, man, how do they do that? How is it even possible? Well, I'm going to tell you. When you are tempted to retaliate, judge, or become impatient. Now let me give you those three again. Retaliate, judge, or become impatient. We've all done that probably at least once today, maybe in the past hour. Say to yourself, this is an opportunity for me to model a great attitude for the glory of God. You say, but this person is driving me crazy. Well, refuse to be a passenger. Don't go along for the ride. That was cute, right? This person is driving me crazy. So, don't go for a ride. Refuse to be a passenger. Take back the wheel, the steering wheel, into your own hands. Take your backside out of the judgment seat and put it in the driver's seat and make a conscious decision where you're going to go and what attitude you're going to have. It can be a conscious decision. For many of us, it's not, because we allow ourselves to be ruled by our emotions. Emotions can be fickle. Emotions can get us in trouble. Emotions can cause us problems. When we are ruled by our emotions, we cease to be rational. The Bible says, whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good report, if there is any virtue, and if there is anything praiseworthy, meditate on these things, and the God of peace will be with you. I want the God of peace with me. I don't want the God of anger, resentment, hurt feelings, disappointment. I don't want to hang with that guy. The scripture here says that if I will choose, make a conscious choice, a conscious decision to think about things that are noble and just and pure and lovely and of good report, if I'll meditate on those things, if I'll let that be on the big screen of my mind, then guess what? The God of peace will be with me. And that's my choice for today, and that's our good word for the day. And so with that, we're going to head out to David from pagetrader.com, get his forecast from the edge. So stand by. We'll be right back.
You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310.
We don't need you now, be on your way. I thank the Lord for love like ours that grows ever stronger. And I always will be true. I know you feel that same way too. Oh.
Good morning, Dwayne.
Hey, David. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Thanks very much. Real pleasure to be here. Just hope everyone's having an interesting day. We have a continuation in some markets of trends that are underway. Really, just an amazing set of conditions in some of these markets. We'll get into the markets, but I'm just, it's amazing. Yeah.
Gotcha. I agree. It is, and it's a beautiful day here in the Valley of the Sun. The Valley of the Sun today, we have 61 degrees.
Well, we are 50 degrees right now here in Las Vegas.
That's nippy.
It's a little cool out, but it's very pleasant. The sun's out, and it warms on you, and it's very nice. So
it's going to get down to 43 here tonight. So that's, boy. What are your lows like at night?
I'll tell you what tonight is going to be. We're going to be down tonight at 43.
Okay.
So now, I recently, over the last couple of years, have bought the Nest thermostat. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah,
but
I sure am, but I don't know anybody that has one. How do you like it?
Well, I do like it a lot. It has two modes, and the reason I'm mentioning it is that I've really learned over the years and just more recently with this thermostat. First of all, the Nest can be purchased at any Home Depot. I don't work for them, nor do I own stock in the company, so I'm just telling you about a product that I found very useful. If you just install it on your wall, it just replaces your ordinary thermostat. It's fully digital. It looks like an Apple product. I don't know whether to consider it expensive or inexpensive. It's probably about $250 for the thermostat, but it has an extremely clear, bright, colorful, circular screen that shows you deep red and deep other colors that show you the temperatures and so on. But the really interesting thing is it does two things really well. Number one is when you install it, it goes on the internet and downloads the latest software to itself, and then it starts watching how you set your thermostat, and it knows what day it is and what time it is, and it starts to build a program so that you ultimately, you use it for 2 weeks and then it just runs on its own and assumes that the way you use it is the way you like. That's your normal scheduling. You can change it at any time. So I found that was very useful, but even more useful for me is that you can actually go in and very easy and intuitively program it to do anything you want it to do on any set of days. You don't have to teach it. You just program it directly. Very easy to do, like operating your iPhone. And so what I've found recently is that just this happens to be for me, but I went on the internet and I found out that as you get later into your sleep cycle, your body does heat up. And so for people who might normally set their thermostat, let's just say it's 73, and that's a certain temperature in your house for you to sleep by. But later in the night, more towards maybe 1:30, 2:30 in the morning, your body is at a different part of its cycle, and it actually is better if the room is then cooler than it was when you first went to bed. And because you can program the thermostat, it allows you to have it automatically switch to that cooler temperature. And if you are a kind of person that wakes up if you get too hot and that kind of thing, you can set this thing and really have a night of temperature-controlled sleep where you start out at one temperature and later you can have it cool it down a little bit. Very useful, very easy to use, very Apple-esque. And so check that out. You may pay, I'm sure it's more expensive than a regular thermostat. I don't know what a regular thermostat would cost, but I think it's a really nice addition to a house, and it allows you to see it much clearer. It also has a phone app, and you can actually set your temperature from your phone anywhere in the world. So if you wanted to, you could say, well, I'm coming home now, it's normally set at this temperature, but I want it to heat up or cool down, so when I'm there, and it'll do that just through your phone app. So really cool, and the company has some other products that are like your smoke alarms, and they're Nest smoke alarms, and they're much more advanced than the ordinary kind. So you can check that out. But just for people who might have trouble sleeping, or maybe you find that you wake up at a certain time at night, maybe you find that you're hot, you can get one of these thermostats and set your house to do exactly what you want it to do so that you're not hot and that kind of thing. So there you are.
Yeah, it's amazing technology, and it's part of the overall, what do they call it, the automated home strategy, where you can, I mean, you're driving home, or your plane lands, and you can, like, if you've been away for a while, you can remotely turn on your heat, correct? From your iPhone? Can you do that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, I mean, you can turn on lights in your house. I mean, just a number. Oh, and there's one, you can see the contents of your refrigerator. That one's
see if you have milk.
More complicated, but yeah, it's just a little tiny camera that you put inside of your refrigerator, and I'm thinking this through. Does it see in the dark, or I wonder if it has some kind of onboard light that comes on?
Probably an onboard light that comes on when the camera's
active.
You're
able to actually look and see what's inside your refrigerator. And once and for all, we'll solve the mystery of, does the light really go out when you shut the door?
Well, that's a long-standing question.
Yeah. So that is amazing technology, and more and more. Oh, and I don't know about, what's your cable service out there? Is it Cox Cable?
Well, we have cable, and we also have, anybody can get the DirecTV or Dish TV through satellite.
Yeah.
But we have Cox Communication as the cable.
Oh, you do? Okay, because they're pushing a thing here now. I haven't really taken a close look at it, and I don't watch commercials, but I still end up, as I'm blurring through, I catch bits and pieces. They have a new home security system, and somebody in the audience, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can have like little cameras throughout your house. You can have one in the kitchen, you can have one in the bedrooms, whatever. And so from your phone, you're able to, if you're at work, you can check on your cat or anything else that you want to do. And if I'm not mistaken, if you turn this feature on, it automatically records everything that's happening in your home, uploads it to the cloud, and then after some period of time, whether it's 24, 48, 72 hours, it will delete. And I think you always have like 48 to 72 hours of backup. So it doesn't like just go in and wipe out the whole thing and start over. It would shave off the 72nd hour and add a new hour, and then shave off the 72nd hour. And are they offering that there? Because it's commercial I saw, it seemed to be, and it ties into your whole home security alarm. I think it's $49 a month or something. That may be an introductory offer. I don't know. Is that something you would ever consider using? I mean, you're a single person, so maybe, I don't know.
I have considered, honestly, although I've never had a problem yet, thankfully, with theft. I mean, I lived in Boulder City, Nevada for 22 years, and I left my doors open every day I never had a locked door in my house, my front door or anything. I don't know why I was doing that. It wasn't like a philosophy on life. I think it was difficult to lock my front door, and I finally, it was an older house. It was a brick home, and built in like 1932 or 33 or something. It was in the historical district of the, and I was younger, and I just stopped bothering locking my door. It was Boulder City, Nevada, and so on. And I just found that I never really had a problem, and strangely enough, I would go to bed at night with all my doors unlocked. I mean, I lived that way for 22 years in Boulder City. I wouldn't do that now. And I have thought about getting some kind of a camera system more for the external part of the house, but if you're going to do that, you might as well get it all. But just in case there is a crime or something that's committed, you know, you have some video, and they do upload it to the cloud now so that people can't, you know, grab the VCR, you know, run out with it or whatever, because they, you know, that's where it's being recorded. It gets uploaded to the cloud. And you know, people, it's funny, there are people who, but for the opportunity that's presented to them to commit a crime, might not even be thinking that day, hopefully, or that year about committing a crime. But just the fact that an opportunity is in front of them often is enough to trigger the weak-minded man roaming the earth to just go, you know, take something that isn't his. People are so lost that just an opportunity by seeing a garage door left open and something in there that he may want, oh, you know, there's something, yeah, that looks nice. It doesn't look like anybody's home. Maybe I'll just walk in and just grab it like I know what I'm doing, and I'll just leave. That idea pops in his head, and, you know, he just goes and follows that thought. That people, he didn't get up that day to commit a crime. He just is, you know, he just the opportunity. So don't tempt people. Lock your stuff up. Don't tempt people, because people are temptable. They will do that. And unfortunately, if they get caught in the act by you, you don't know what else they're capable of. So you don't want any of that situation, right? So
yeah, for sure.
Anyway. But yeah, there's all kinds of great new things happening. If we come back, you know, if you could come back in 20 years, all new homes are going to be fully decked out with all the features of, you know, built-in cameras, built-in this, built-in that, so that the cars are all going to be, you know, more and more electric, and they're going to have more and more autonomy to them. I mean, we're moving into another era. We're at the very, very edges of a brand new era in living for man, the way that men live. Just in the same way that a long time ago, I saw a movie of Laguna. It wasn't a long movie, but it was a movie about the history of the beach area in California, of Laguna. And they showed somehow they did a time-lapse photography. I don't know how they did this, of Laguna over a long, long period of time, and you could see that all of the stores and all of the sidewalks and all that stuff looked a certain way, and at some point it started to change, and then suddenly the entire strip was now new. I mean, everything got redone, and that's what's happening in our lives, and is going to happen, especially as we get, you know, a little bit further into this century, where the autonomy on cars, the autonomy of our own homes, and so on, it's another whole level of living that gives great comfort and convenience, but also will leave us vulnerable to, you know, cyber attack and God knows what else. That's why I'm hoping that ultimately the kinds of things that happen on the internet, where people steal other people's information, they go after your credit cards, whatever they're doing, that those actually become much more serious crimes.
Yeah.
In terms of punishment, because it's just not serious enough at this point.
Yeah, I think they will, because it's going to become the crime of choice. I mean, if you're some, you know, band of hoodlums, thugs, whatever, all you need is one smart kid in the crowd. And now all of a sudden you don't have to go into a convenience store brandishing a handgun, which can get you, I mean, if you use a gun when you commit a crime, I think some states, or maybe it's even federal, I don't know. I mean, doesn't that, like, don't you get a life sentence for that or something?
Well, you get an extended sentence for that.
Something
And-
really bad happens, and so you got to, like just even a group of high school kids, or maybe a little bit older, they starting to get in trouble, the kind that do the beer raids at the Circle K and steal the beer and whatnot. I mean, all of a sudden they got this one kid from the chess club who can write code. Well, he can hack and they can get their money. So you're right. This has to be, these crimes, these white-collar crimes have to become and carry the penalties as severe as, armed robbery. And it just, because until something is done to deter it, they're just going to, I mean, it's a booming business right now. Did you hear about Charlie Sheen? He was on the Today Show today.
Well, I do. Today I heard about Charlie Sheen, but I do want to make note that a couple weeks back, but the Inquirer.
It says here they reported it on Monday. I don't know. Maybe it was a couple weeks ago. But,
maybe my timing's right, but the Inquirer didn't actually name him, but they a couple weeks back they had a version that said a very well-known actor. I mean, it made it really obvious. Very well-known actor. Hangs out with porn girls, does prostitutes, and all this other stuff. And who else is it? I mean, it's Charlie Sheen. Well, but they didn't say it for some reason.
Well, on yesterday, the National Enquirer tabloid first. What does tabloid mean? Does that mean large-sized newspaper? Does it have something to do with the format?
That's a really good question. I'm not sure. That's a good question.
I will ask my friend the internet. Define tabloid. A newspaper having pages half the size of those of a standard newspaper, typically popular in style and dominated by headlines, photographs, and sensational stories. That's what a tabloid is. Newspaper having pages half the size of a standard newspaper. Okay, so now we know why it's called that. It's because tabloid has been given a negative connotation over the years. It doesn't really mean anything bad. So anyway, the National Enquirer on Monday reported, they were the first to report, that Charlie Sheen had contracted the virus, and that some of his sexual partners were not aware. But Sheen maintains that he told all of his partners of his HIV status, adding that many threatened to blackmail him for a sum totaling into the millions. Sheen does not have AIDS, a condition in which the virus has dramatically suppressed the immune system, leaving the patient susceptible to infections and rare types of cancer. So he's HIV positive, but he does not have AIDS. So two very different things. About 35 million people were living with HIV worldwide as of 2013, and about 1.5 million people died of AIDS-related illnesses that year. But the virus is no longer a death sentence for those like Sheen, who have access to a cocktail of antiretroviral drugs. His physician, an assistant professor of clinical medicine at UCLA, also appeared on the show, and he said Sheen's HIV was undetectable in his blood. Now, if it's undetectable in his blood, how do they know that he has it? And I know
it's undetectable. They know that he has it.
That you've talked about on the show before. Okay.
Yeah, the retrovirus suppression, the drugs that he takes, the cocktail, will reduce it down to where it cannot be detected in the blood. But you still have the disease. It's still in your body. And then unfortunately, if those drugs are taken away, it comes back as like a storm. And so the drugs become extremely important. It's actually turning into more of a chronic illness now than a death sentence. You can live with it. You have to take these unusual drugs, which is like they say a cocktail of drugs.
It used to be like 20-something pills, but Sheen, who says he's on a triple cocktail, it's been reduced. He only has to take 4 pills a day.
Well, that's good. I'm glad they're making advances. Yeah, I'm glad they're making advances on it.
I remember the 80s when AIDS the whole The world was in shock, and in particularly the gay community was in shock. And it just so happened that in the summer of 84 or 85, I was on business, and I spent the entire summer in San Francisco. And my wife and I, we had to live in a hotel room for the entire month. There were two hotels in San Francisco that would accept pets. Now, I'm not kidding. This is a true story. We found two. One cost $600 a night, and one cost $60 a night. Needless to say, we went with the $60 a night because my wife had her little puppy dog with her. And that particular hotel was in the Tenderloin district. I'm trying to remember the name of the street in San Francisco, but we would sit at night in our hotel room, and there was like a little window seat, and we could look down on the street, and it was like a carnival. It was like we would get takeout food from a restaurant, and we would sit in the window seat and just watch the circus unfold. These big, stretch limos, luxury cars would cruise up the street, and some young 15, 16, some young kid would, stick his head in the window and talk to whoever was in this car, and then get in the car, and the car would glide away. And then this would go up, it literally went on all night until about sunrise, and things would start to quieten down. And the street would actually get quiet about sunrise. And it was and that was the summer that AIDS began to really make the headlines. And my wife and I, we were just kind of thrust right into the heart of it in this hotel, which was the type of hotel that, while we paid $60 a night, they also rented out rooms by the hour, if you know what I mean. And we got quite an education that summer. So I'll never forget that. Was it Polk Street? Anyway, it doesn't matter. So, David, I guess we should go to the markets. S&P 500, you got anything for us?
Well, I do.
If there's anything else you want to talk about, I'm happy to talk about it.
Well, I was just going to say, it just strikes me with Charlie Sheen that wasn't it around the time that he was diagnosed, which is 3 or 4 years ago, that he was going through this whole thing with his, the videos, and he's, all that stuff. Maybe that played a part, his diagnosis and so on may have played a part in his going crazy.
My wife and I
remember he went through a period.
Had that conversation, which came first, chicken or the egg? Did he get the diagnosis and that made him act crazy? Or was it from all the stuff he did when he was acting so crazy that he contracted it? And so we couldn't decide, so we arm wrestled and she won. And then we
there you are.
So I don't know, but that's that was the first thing that sprang to my mind was, could that have been him just, literally losing it? But then he came to his senses, and I guess he's employed again now, and he has a new TV show, correct?
I don't know. I don't follow him too closely, but
I believe so. Yeah. Okay, and I don't think there's any other major news out Wall Street way. That company, or that French magazine, Charlie Hebdo, remember the ones? Yeah. This was their response to the attacks in Paris. This cartoon, what it is saying is, you may have the guns, but we have the champagne. So, I mean, this company's famous for this type. That's what they do. And, well, I'd be pretty nervous going to work. I mean, on one hand, I respect their willingness to make a stand and blah blah, but I also, if I had a family, if I had wife and kids, I mean, it's one thing to be like a special ops guy where you're going in and risking your life to save other lives, but they're risking their lives just to tick people off.
Yeah.
I'm a big proponent of freedom of speech and all that, but I'm not a proponent of stupid. So, and I'm not calling them stupid. I'm just saying, I don't know.
Well, they're running a business that's what they're into. It's dawned on me today, and then we'll get right to the markets, that, ISIS, for all of the shock and awe of what they do, they don't have a helicopter. They don't have airplanes. They don't have naval fleets. They don't have boats. They don't have really anything except guns and a bunch of willing men. That's about it, and some explosives.
And the internet.
And the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And I am just astonished that in this day and age, where we have the kind of military and the
secret
what we have is the unwillingness of, for political reasons, for people to go fix this problem of people who don't have practically anything.
You heard the comment. Did we talk about it yesterday, David? Where he said, I don't want to get into this whole thing about leadership and America winning.
Yeah, I commented on that yesterday.
I don't have time for that. I'm busy. I'm a busy guy.
Yeah,
oh
he made a comment that he doesn't want to, he's not going to try to go down the thing where he tries to make it look like America's strong, or he tries to make it look like America's winning. And that's a really poor, I get the point that he was making, but he's really not making, what he's really doing is he's sort of telling the truth there, that for some reason he is not interested in America winning. It's all political. The whole thing is political for him, because if he's anything, he's all political. Yeah. He will not it doesn't matter if they blow up Washington. He is not going to call it a war. He's not going to that's why he's doubling down on his same strategy. And what is the strategy? I never really got the memo on the strategy. What is the strategy? What are we doing about ISIS? Nobody knows.
Not
it's we drop a few bombs here and there, a very pinprick kind of thing. He doesn't have a strategy. They're just hoping nothing bad happens, and he's just trying to pass every day without having to go against his original plan, which was that Al-Qaeda's on the run. I'm the anti-war president. He's not going to let any world event, no matter how bad, get him back into a war. And in that way, it's one of the most peculiar things I've ever seen in my adult life, that we have a president who is actually not willing to defend the United States. What he's willing to do is just put on theater for us to make it look like he's doing what he thinks he should be doing. And unfortunately, the truth is that it's very likely that Al-Qaeda or ISIS is going to be back here in America. I certainly hope not, but they were able to pull off a pretty sophisticated attack in Paris, and they can do the same here. And I don't know why this president, other than purely political reasons, which is really, really a bad reason. We really have the wrong guy in office at this time under these sets of conditions. If I was going to give anything to the far left, I might say something like, listen, under different sets of conditions, maybe, even though I don't honestly believe this to be the case, but maybe I'll give it to you that maybe this man would have been a better president under a lot of different conditions. But the ones that we are seeing in the United States now are conditions that he's literally the worst possible choice to step up, because he is absolutely unwilling to defend the country. He is unwilling to go to war for mere political reasons that have to do with his politics and with his legacy. He doesn't want to have people say, well, you said this and you did that, even if that means, protecting us and keeping these people from coming here. He's made a lot of bad moves in his foreign policy that have resulted, just as an example, in Iraq getting filled, the power vacuum that he was warned about, and it happened. So, maybe under other conditions, but we really have an unfortunate set of conditions right now where the enemy has more drive to attack us than we have to defend ourselves. He's just not going to do it. He's just not going to do it. And so unfortunately, we may have to suffer the consequences of that, because every time they have a success like Paris, that emboldens them. Weakness emboldens. It's in human and animal nature. If you turn your back on a tiger, it's just naturally tempted to jump and bite down on your neck. That's what a tiger wants to do if he sees your back, because he sees weakness. He sees you in a vulnerable position. And we have animal in us. We have plant, we have dirt, we have animal, and we have our human nature. And when evil sees weakness, it pounces. And we're showing weakness. That's what we're doing. So unfortunately, you can only do that so long before they pounce. And they've even told us they're coming.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe them. I do believe them. I actually believe ISIS and what they say more than I believe this administration or our president, because I know everything our administration or our president does is political. It's purely for political gain. It has nothing. If it happens to help the United States, that's great, but it's purely for political gain. And I encourage people to watch what he said at the Turkey summit, whatever they called it, and watch him stumble through that, trying to describe why what he's already doing is the very best thing, even though it's clear to everybody that it's absolutely not working. So ISIS is growing, they're being emboldened, and they're making their next plan. And I would suggest that people think twice about traveling abroad, think twice about having your kids travel abroad, not to be living absolutely in fear, but just don't be stupid either,
Yeah.
I would no more send my child or relatives or anywhere to a foreign country now unless it was absolutely necessary to do so. There was no way out of it, because the dangers are there. And again, a group of people without boats, airplanes, possibly even cars are doing this kind of damage, and we haven't taken them out yet. You have to ask yourself, why would that be? How did we get to a place where we're allowing that to continue to grow and we still have not actually taken it out and are refusing to send our troops in to go take care of what needs to be taken care of, because they could whack them really good, and that would protect America. It's become so politicized now that how terrible war is. And yes, we've been through wars, but you don't get to pick when you go to war. I mean, these aren't crimes. There is a war underway right now. It's a war of their civilization against ours. That's no joke. It really is the case. They want to change civilization. They have a caliphate, a mandate that they want to change everything. And, the longer they exist, the worse their acts are going to become. And we're not doing anything about it. It seems to me that one of the strangest positions I've ever seen. I don't know of anyone else that could be in a political position like this and not rally the troops and want to go take care of this problem. I don't get it. Somehow, in his own perverse way, he needs to not do that. He needs to not get back into war, because he's so anti, taking that risk on and damaging, perhaps getting himself into a position where he doesn't know the outcome and all that. And he just doesn't have the stomach for it. I mean, he really is not a kick-butt guy. He's a political chess player. That's our president. So I hope the left is enjoying his presidency. I'm not.
No, me either.
These are people, and then I'm sorry I got myself going. These are people who to this day will still look you straight in the face right after this attack and say our biggest threat to the United States is climate change. What kind of lunatic world are we living in when that is what that's the trial balloon they're trying to float to see if they can get that going to get our attention off the elephant in the room, which is that we're under attack. So, all right, let's get to the markets. We'll talk about them here.
David. It's very concerning.
Listen, I know people who back in 2000 they dug. These are people that are pretty well off, and they dug holes in their backyard and built rooms underground and all that stuff, turn the power onto those and get those ready again, because you didn't need it in 2000, but you might need it at some point. I have somebody that works with me here at the office that is building a completely off-the-grid place in the middle of Arizona, off the grid entirely. And every weekend they go out there and they add to their new, to the structure that they built, and to their power backup, and to their heating, and to all the stuff they're doing to live completely off the grid when something happens. And I try to flip them $50 and try to get myself a little room there.
I was going to ask, have they told you when the stuff hits the fan, are they going to let you come hang with them?
Yeah. I'm going to say something like, what's it going to cost me to kind of, hang out there for
absolutely
till the stuff's over.
I would love to do an interview. It doesn't have to. Yeah, it could be someday after I'm done talking with you. If this person would like to talk about their experience and what led them to do this.
Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that. It's an interesting thing because it's a woman, and the moment that
that makes it even more interesting.
Yeah, that she just had, the first thing she did with her earnings was to go buy 30 acres and begin developing this whole off-the-grid living situation, because she fervently believes, she's not a nut at all, but she fervently believes that it's obvious that something's very wrong, and with all of this that we're talking about, that it's not being taken care of, and that there may be more sinister motives at work here, she believes. She can tell you herself.
Okay.
But
yeah, I would love to do that, whether it's during this show, or we can have a separate podcast, whatever, however it works.
Yeah, I told her, janitor closet, I can sleep standing up if you've got like a small, Okay, so let's talk about the S&P, and then we'll take a quick trip around here. I know we've already run through our time today. It's unfortunate it goes so quickly.
Yikes.
The S&P has had a very nice total reaction, or total recovery. Really, we've completely recovered a big section of the move down starting from the 12th. We've completely recovered that. We've this morning rallied again. We didn't quite get to, I believe that normally by the time this rally is done, we will be at least 2068, and they didn't get to that today. And I did believe that it would be likely that today, worst case into tomorrow, that we would see that level. We've not seen that level yet. We've gotten up to 2063.50, which is not a missed number. That's just, it's not like it's a close by miss or something. It's just they just haven't done the number. And so we're looking now with this the facts in front of us here. We're looking to possibly be interested in getting long again, particularly if we continue the decline that we have now. If we were to go a little bit lower and maybe test or attempt 46 or 47, we're down at 52 now. If we were to do that a little later today, that could bring about possibly some action from us on the long side. If, on the other hand, they don't do that, we may use some other indication to get long, and it may take us into tomorrow. It just depends on their actions here. But overall, this has been a very, very smooth and easy advance that the market has shown us here. And the pullback this morning is just this is just something that is in the cards for the market, I guess, that we'll try to deal with. We don't have an official position on, although I did mention today that if people wanted to be aggressive, they could be long. That was around the 58 level. We got up to 63. So some gains were possible there, but really the longer term for us, or the bigger picture for us, is that we would normally expect them to test or attempt 68, somewhat higher than they did today. So I'm now interested, because they haven't done it, in the market maybe pulling back a little further here, getting us into the 47 level. And if we see that, we may take some action on that. We'll see. One other market, if we can, we'll just zip through this kind of quick because we are a little short on time, is the gold market. I have to say that, the gold market has not been acting well at all. This is in the face of some uncertainties out there that they're not reacting well to. They're just continuing to decline. I had mentioned yesterday that we expected the market to move down to at least 1076, 1075 this week from yesterday's test of the 96 level. And today we did complete the 75 level. We've actually gone down to 64, basically another 10 points. So this is a very interesting set of conditions for gold because this is really a critical juncture, I think, for gold at this point. We had forecast that gold would advance back on the 13th. We forecast they would have a one-day bounce up to 96. They completed that, and yesterday's break back below 1087 to us indicated that they would have a minimum of 1076, 1075 on the downside almost immediately, but at least during this week. We've completed that, and any later session test this week of 1075, 1076, I think is going to be a very important tell for gold. It's going to let us know it's going to be a juncture where we can make a conclusion about, possibly make a pretty good conclusion about what the nature of gold's position is. Because right now, it's obvious that it's very weak, and it continues to be weak. But markets are very weak, and they can get very strong very quickly, and I think we're going to see a retest of the 1076 level and 1075, and that's going to help us make a determination at that point if there really is something bigger cooking to the long side. But I think everyone has to look at gold and think for a minute about the short side as well. They've really run this thing down to new recent lows here.
I know.
It's not a tower of strength. So
78 minus 64 is, good Lord, that's that's not the entire move down, but just for us, that's a $14 move down.
Yeah.
And that's $100. $1 move in gold, guys, is $100 if you're trading the futures contract. Crude, a $1 move is $1,000. Gold, it's $100. So this move here, just from the little line I drew where our alert came out, that's $1,400. But that's, it fell. It's just, I have a daily chart here, which really kind of gives you a good look at this. This is a daily chart. Now we had a little bounce, and we had a little trade that got up to our first target. It didn't make it to our second target, which was up at 1107. But look at this. We've got in the last, if we go all the way back to October 15th, we've had 1, 2, 3 green candles since October 15th. That's a month. We've had 3 days, and this is Globex candles, so if you're anyone using a day session chart, it's going to look differently. But wow, you think we're going to take out 1,000, Dave? Are we going to break it?
I don't know. I don't guess at the markets. I forecast based on, as you know, our methodology. I don't have a guess right now on whether we will or not, but I do know this. I know you know that. The market is below 1087. That's a pretty weak position for the market to be in. I don't like seeing it below that, and we have another critical juncture coming up, as I said, just in a couple of days here, or just during this week, on any retest of a 1075, 1076. If they don't even do that, if that is absent, then we really do have something much larger at work. In other words, if we get through the week and they just keep taking them down without any test of that, I think that would be a pretty ominous signal in gold.
Tim, I don't know if you're joking or if this is true. Please someone explain Bernie Sanders' comment that climate change is causing Islamic terrorism to increase.
No, he's actually telling you exactly what Bernie Sanders said. Bernie Sanders, this is why you can't believe, whatever their social scheme is for, having free college for everybody, free cars for everybody, free everything, and, somehow everything gets paid for. But they're nutty on other levels. It's not just that they have a social scheme that might or might not work. usually they're kind of loony with a screw loose on other levels. For somebody to make a comment like climate change is the reason that ISIS exists, you're going to have to stretch some rubber bands to get logic.
Does he offer
to
any
make
reasoning
sense.
behind the statement?
Yes, he does, and I don't even want to go into it. It's not
Okay.
even worth repeating.
All right. I'll look it up.
It's drivel.
All right.
The guy has a screw loose. So ISIS comes about because there's a vacuum in Iraq that we left by taking all of our troops out for political reasons, and they filled that thing, and they've been around for a while, but that gave them a great new starting point and a foothold for them to kick their game into gear. It has happened, and we're not playing the hand very well yet. Like I said yesterday, I just want to say it again. It surprises me that France gets right up and instantly sends jets over and starts and considers it an act of war, right instantly. That's the right thing to do. It is an act of war.
And
they're blowing up things that I thought we were already blowing up. They're finding munition depots. Wait a minute, haven't we been doing that for a frickin' year?
Yeah.
How is it that how many munition depots do they have? That and training camps do they have? We've been blowing this stuff up all year long.
Yep.
So, or maybe not. So, I don't know.
And with
Anyway,
this
I do have
drone
to-
technology, I mean, it's not like we even have to put, lives at risk to fly one of these
I know.
drones in there and blow this stuff up. I mean,
I know.
gosh.
Well, listen, I'd love to complain about it more, but I do have to leave, and
Well,
I
do
don't
you
want to
think-
leave on a negative note.
Yeah,
But
do you think that this, from Richard, do you think this rally means anything like renewed strength in the market, or is this
No,
just a rally with
I
no
don't.
new highs to happen down the road?
I think this right now, I read this for exactly what it is, which is a counter-trend rally in a larger downtrend.
Okay.
That's how I read it right now.
Gotcha.
I have to go. I'll see you guys here tomorrow.
Take care, Dave.
Thanks for your patience. We'll see you next time.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Bye-bye. Okay. S&P 500 Emini Futures Concierge Trade Alert. Last night, it said to consider being long above 2059. 2059. There we go. Now, we got up to 63.5. So that's a 4.5 point move. Our goal is 2 points a day, or $100 per contract. Some people don't trade the S&P. Some people trade the S&P in other markets. On that $100 per contract per day, we already touched on this. Is it okay to take 50 out of the S&P and 25 out of the Dow and 25 out of the Russell? Absolutely. As long as you end up with $100 gross per day and you do it in 10 trades or less. And if it takes you more than 10 trades, as long as you have the rollover trades available, then that's fine too. It's a different way of looking at things. It's a different way of thinking in probabilities. And someone in the live trading room yesterday said, I've never seen, and this was someone who obviously had been around the markets for a while, and they said, I've never seen quite this approach before. He was very intrigued by it. Now, he didn't mean our specific strategy with the bullish cross and the pull away and the pull back, but the way we structure the money management, how aggressive we are with the risk management, that's what he was referring to. And he's right. You really won't find this anywhere else, because this is something that Michael and I, over a period of years, have put together. And as I wrote over the weekend, and as I shared with you towards the end of the show yesterday, what we have is unique. We built it from the ground up. It's never going to break. It's never going to, quote unquote, stop working, because it mirrors the market. Now, we don't have to go in and optimize anything or curve fit or tweak or any of that stuff, because the very nature of how we build the methodology, it's self-evolving. And you can take our indicators. If you have a data provider that runs on the Open eCry backbone so that you can use our indicator sets will work. Or if you have NinjaTrader and you have a data provider that will give you tons of historic data, you can go back as far as your data provider will allow you to go, and you can drop our indicator set on a range chart, just like we use, You can drop it on a 5-minute chart, a 1-minute chart, an hourly, a daily, a weekly. You can put it on a volume chart, a tick chart, a Renko chart. You can put it on any chart you can come up with. Go back as far as you want to go back. And it just works. All the same rules still apply. For a long trade, bullish cross, price pulls away, price pulls back, to physically touch, up close, by the open of the next candle. Reverse that for a short trade, and the momentum trade is the exact same way. The steps are a little different. You don't have to pull all the way back and physically touch, but you're taking advantage of the momentum that's built into the market. So those two trades, you can trade any market, any time frame. You can trade the market in 2015, and you could have traded the market in 1915 if you'd had access to computerized platform. Could you have drawn it by hand? Well, there's so much heavy lifting going on behind the scenes, mathematical heavy lifting, that it would have been difficult, I must say. But today, if you have access to that historic data, go amaze yourself. Go way back. Go back 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10. If your data provider allows, drop the indicators on there and go, wow. So anyway, let's move on. Let's get through these alerts. Now, that's it, I guess, for the S&P. We ran up 4.5 points. That's what the market made available. Market made 4.5 points available. If you're trading the 2420 blueprint, you need 2 points, $100 per contract per day. All right, let's go to the Dow, the YM, as it's called. The alert said to consider being long above 17,475. Okay. Here's 17,475 right here. The Dow pays $5 per point, so you need 20 points to make the $100. Everything we do hinges on the $100. Even when you've graduated to 10, 15, 20 contracts, it still hinges on the $100. Even if you're at 20 contracts, your job every day is to get up, roll in, make $100. Well, yeah, but it's not $100. I'm trading 20 contracts now. Yeah, but it still hinges on your ability to make $100 based on one contract. In fact, staring at those big numbers will just make the job more difficult. You'll have more self-doubt. You'll start wrestling with issues like, am I worthy? My dad didn't make that in a year or a month or a week or whatever it might be. Who am I to have access to this? Hey, that's something you got to work out between you and your creator. Okay? We're just here to provide the knowledge and the tools to put you in the position where you have to wrestle with that decision. So, moving right along. The first move up. Now, let me back up for just 1 second. I just got to say, yesterday was a whale of a day. S&P 500 E-mini. The alert yesterday was to be long above 2017. That thing rocked $1,700 per contract on the Concierge Trade Alerts. The OTAD alert, the 1 trade a day, which the 1 trade a day alerts come out at 10:30. Okay, so we didn't trigger on that thing until like the 1:30 half hour, I guess it was, and bang. Now it's a new dawn, it's a new day. Because the Concierge Trade Alerts not the Concierge Trade Alerts, but because the 1 trade a days were just published at 10:30, I'm not comfortable publishing those or talking about those numbers right now. I will do a recap video later today where I'll recap every market as I do, and of course then we'll be able to talk about it tomorrow as we're able to talk about yesterday's OTAD today. OTAD means one trade a day. Sounds a little weird, but that's the deal. So yesterday the OTAD was to be long above 2037. And okay, let's move to the YM, to the Dow. Okay. Yesterday, the Concierge Trade Alert made 237 points available in total. Well, the market made it available. All the Concierge Trade Alert does is give you a entry to the tick. We define the entry to the tick. Long at this price or short at this price. Okay. We give you a hard target, which in the case of the Dow is 20 points, and a hard stop, which is 8 points. We never risk more than 8 ticks, or in the case of the Dow, points. The Dow doesn't do ticks. Everything's points. Most markets, like the S&P, there's 4 ticks to a point. Soybeans, there's 4 ticks to a point. The Russell, there's 10 ticks to a point. All right. And so you need 20 points in the Dow to make the $100. Well, this first candle that broke through right here off the London Open went 26. Is that correct? Yeah. Swing high of this candle was 17,226. And then we moved a little bit higher. This candle made it up to 245. And so if you stayed in the next hour, you had a chance at 45. And if you stayed in another couple hours, you had 49. And if you just, and that was it. That was the swing high of that move. Now, important prices and important areas are almost always tested. Sorry about that, guys. I had to take care of a little something, but I'm good now. Okay. All right. And then this move, right, 81 points, which ultimately turned into 237 points. The OTAD said to be long 17,320, and the swing high here was 17,437. So basically, what's that, 117 points? Now, the OTAD is published at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. If you took the trade, remember you're risking 8 points. 20 points, you make your $100 for the day. If you trail a stop on the balance, or once you've locked in your goal for the day, if you choose to trail, whether it's all or part, there was $500 available in the Dow off the OTAD alert. Concierge alerts are emailed at night to the clients, and to the subscribers, the OTAD subscribers, they simply go to our super secret website and log in using the password that you're provided. Now, it's $75 per market. There's a minimum of 2 markets. And so if you chose the S&P and the Dow, yesterday the S&P or the Dow, either one, trading one contract, covered your subscription for, actually, if you put the S&P and the Dow together, I think it covered you for the next 6 months, or no more. Actually, the Dow almost covered you for 6 months. It's $150 a month. $75 per market, minimum 2 markets, $150 a month. Okay. So anyway, moving right along. Today on the Concierge Trade Alert, we said to consider being long above 17,475. The first move took us up to 495, so that's exactly 20 points. Exactly. That's that first little candle. That one, right there. Now, if you stayed with the trade, if you trailed a stop, the swing high was 530. So from 480 to 530, that would be 50. So that's 55 points that the market made available. Again, we give you a hard target, hard stop, and an exact entry to the tick. Nothing nebulous, nothing ambiguous, nothing about, in the neighborhood. It's either there or it's not. Okay, now, on important prices, important areas are almost always tested. The first hour of this move, we got up to 539. So 75 to 25, that'd be 50, 64. And just in that hour, it would be 64. And someone please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, because I just did that math in my head. My head's not what it used to be. Okay, and then important prices, important areas, once again, are tested. And the swing high this time is 517. So 50 minus 8, 42. This green candle here, 42 points. You only need 20 to be done for the day. So 20 on the first move, the continuation of that move made 55 available. And then after the test, the hour that we broke through the trigger again gave up 64 points. And then this last move up through the trigger gave up 42 points. Okay, is that right? I had a straight line. I had to mess with it, didn't I? Oh, I'm going to get it. And it. Let me lean forward. Show what I mean business. Oh, it's so silly. Why do I antagonize myself? All right, there we go. How about that? Beautiful day for the Dow traders. Is the Dow a cash cow? If you Google that, I wrote a little piece about that years ago. All right, here's the Russell. Yesterday, Concierge Trade Alert was 1142. First move up made $400 per contract available. Important prices, important areas were tested, and we went up over $1,000 per contract. Now the OTAD, which was published yesterday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, okay, in this hour here, we didn't trigger until the 2 o'clock hour, but we triggered, and we went from 1149 up to 1155.20. So that's 60. I guess let's see. The swing high was 55.2. 55.2 minus 49. Okay, so it's 62 ticks. I erroneously typed 67 ticks. Now, that's what the market made available, okay, on the OTAT. Doesn't mean you got out with 62 ticks. In fact, I'd be willing to say there's not a person in the audience that got out with exactly 62 ticks. Some may have gotten out with 60 or 55 or 50 or 40. As price pulls back, that dictates where you get out. Okay, as price pulls back. Now, today, the Concierge Trade Alerts for the Russell, long above 1160, but first we triggered on the short side. The alert said, and let me show you. Now, these alerts could be in your inbox tonight. Russell, long above 60, short below 50. Okay. So if you got short at 50, the swing low was 48.30. 48.30. That is 17 ticks. It's $170 per contract. How many do you need? You need 10 ticks. 10 ticks gives you $100 per contract per day. Here, when we triggered on the long side, 1160, we put in a swing high up at 65.60. So that's 56 ticks or $560 per contract. That's what the market made available. You either had a hard target because you're working the 2420 blueprint, and that's all you're looking for. You had a hard target of 10 ticks, or you perhaps trailed part or all of your position, and then when price pulled back, it stopped you out with some profit. Okay? All right. Let's see. After the Russell, what do we got? Crude oil. Crude oil, we said to be long above 42.05, short below 41.60. So here's crude oil, short below 41.60. Okay. Now, let's see. And the long side was 42.05. Okay. Swing high right here is 42.03. So we never triggered on the long side. Got close, but no trigger. 41.60 on the short side, we got down to 41.53. Now that's 7 ticks. It's not enough to be done for the day. However, part of the rules, if you've been in the live trading room, you know the rules. At 4 ticks profit, the stop goes to break even. Now, in a market like crude oil, where you need 10 ticks to be done for the day, at 7 ticks, I'd really like to see you have 4 locked in. If you're super aggressive, lock in 5. Yeah, man, but if I lock in 5, I'm certainly going to get stopped out. Okay. But you'll get stopped out with 50% of your daily production in one trade. Think about it. You got 10 trades to get the job done. This, whether you're trading 1 contract or 100. And at this time of day, well, yeah, well, let's take a look. At this time of day, in crude oil, what do we have for volume? 956 contracts, all right? So if you're trading 10 or 20, 100 might be a little steep for that time of day. Okay, but for this time of day, that changes dramatically. 16,000, 21,000, 24,000. So, anyway, here you had a chance to, worst case, get stopped out at break even. Worst case. A little better would be break even plus 1 because you cover your commissions, or if you get stopped out with 3 or 4 ticks profit, That's 30 to 40% of your daily production. Now, I was in a mentoring session with someone yesterday, and he said, "Well, hey, you know, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking," and he said, "How about instead of just moving my stop to break even at 4 ticks, or no, we'd already covered that, and then we were talking about moving the stop up to lock in profit as the market continued to move in the direction of his trade." And I think it was the S&P that he was trading, if memory serves me correct. Anyway, if it might have been a different market, but here's my point: is he said, when I said, so now at this point, wherever I think we were at 6 ticks, and I was showing him you lock in 4, and he says, well, why not just take the 4? That's 50% of my daily production. Why not just take the 4? And I said, well, because then you get into what I call bad science. And that's anytime someone unveils a trading strategy that requires you to risk more than what you anticipate earning. Okay? There's a lot of methodologies out there that show you if you risk 2 points to make 1 point, you can have a nice string of winners, and that's great. But it's that string of unprofitable trades that really put you behind the 8 ball and then make it really difficult to get out from behind the 8 ball. I spoke with a gentleman the other day in a mentoring session. He was the last educational firm he was with. They had a thing where I believe you risked 5, it was S&P, you risk 5 points to make 2. Now, that's great as long as you have, nothing but profitable trades. But man, if you get stopped out a couple times in a row back to back, I mean, you're down 10 points, and on each quote unquote positive trade, you're only going to pick up 2 points. You need 5 back-to-back profitable trades just to get to break even. I mean, it's bad science. Don't do it, okay? So what I was explaining to him is we want to lock in 4 because you're right. That is 50% of your daily production, and that's awesome. But we want to leave the door open for it to go all the way and hit the target, trade through the target, ring the bell, and guarantee us a fill on the trade. Okay? That's aggressive risk management. It's part of what makes everything that we do work so well. Aggressive risk management. And it's a very difficult thing for many people to learn. It's like, man, I sat here for 2 hours waiting on this trade to come together, and now I'm supposed to just, I don't want to do that. I want to give it room to breathe. Famous last words. Let it breathe on its own time. Okay? We're working here. So, seriously, aggressive risk management. If you will work with it in the simulator, you'll get one of these little grins on your face that won't go away, because you'll start to see how, nobody likes getting stopped out, right? But when you get stopped out with, 3 ticks, 4 ticks, and then you hit your 10-tick goal, all of a sudden you've got 17 ticks on the day. You're only looking for 10. You got 170% of your daily goal. That means you're not only rolling forward 7 unused trades, you're rolling forward 70% of one day's entire production. Man, that's pretty awesome. You come into work the next day, it's your second day on the job, you got 17 trades available, and you already have 70% of the day's production in the kitty. Don't want to use it up unless you absolutely need to. Better to just hit your goal again today. And every day, try to hit your goal. Try to hit your goal. You only want to dip into the kitty if you need to. And the rollover trade, same thing. You only want to dip in there if you need to. Okay? Each day is a new day, and each day that I sit down, I want to have a clean slate, My goal is today I will make $100 in 10 trades or less. I don't know if it'll take 1 or 10. I'm just going to trade what's in front of me. I'm not going to have a bias. I'm going to keep a clear head. Not going to be distracted by phone calls and Twitter and Facebook and emails. I'm going to be focused 100%. And once I reach my goal for the day, I'm going to put the mouse away. And I'm going to go embrace life. I'm going to have a catch with my son, or I'm going to walk in the park, or skip rope, go to the gym, get on the treadmill, paint a picture, take some photographs, whatever it is that tells you you're alive. Do it. Do it. Trading is not just about money. It's about quality of life. And I'm going to tell you something. If you're tied up in a knot every morning when you sit down at your platform, you got chunks of hair missing where you've been pulling on it, right? That's not quality of life. And I dare say, if you don't do something pretty quickly to change how you're approaching your trading, you're going to become physically ill. You're going to develop health problems. On the other hand, if you can learn to come and sit down each day and work from a carefree state of mind, like an artist, like a sculptor, like a painter, like a musician, creating works of art, that makes you feel good and positive and hopeful and helpful and all of these other things. You can experience that from trading, but you've got to get in the driver's seat. Remember when we opened up the show today, our good word for the day was about our attitude, having a good attitude, how important it is. And in order to make sure we have a good attitude, we got to kick the devil out of the driver's seat, and we got to get out of the judgment seat ourselves and into the driver's seat, get our hands on that steering wheel, and we're going to think about things that are good and noble and true and worthy of praise. That's where we're going to keep our head. My daughter, over the weekend, she had gotten a little bit of trouble at school, and so her punishment was that she had to write a little thesis. She's only 8, but really, you're making an 8-year-old write a thesis? Well, call it what you want, but I can't think of any better word than a thesis about her behavior and about what she did wrong and why she's not going to do it again and what she learned. And she kept saying, but Daddy, I don't know what to write. Daddy, I don't know what to write. I come in a half hour later. You know, the page has been rearranged and the pencil's been sharpened down to a nubbin. The eraser's been chewed off, but I got no words on the page. Daddy, I don't know what to write. I said, honey, write what you're thinking. I'm not thinking anything. I said, yes, you are. I don't want to do this. Write that down. Huh? Write down your thoughts. You're always thinking about something, honey. You can't turn it off. Now, some men and women have, gone to the mountaintop and have spent years trying to learn how to turn off that train of thoughts that's constantly chugging along from the time we wake up to the time we go to sleep. There's 2 different kinds of meditation, by the way. There's the kind where you try to quiet and still the mind, and there's the other kind where you observe your thoughts. 2 different schools of, and somebody out there is going, ooh, he said meditation. He's going to hell. Well, I'm sorry you feel that way. Oh, by the way, over the weekend, did you guys see it? Some guy on Twitter called me a Zionist. He did. I put out what I thought was a kind of a harmless tweet. I said, how did it go? It said, just a reminder to everyone, please continue to pray for Paris and all the lives affected. Something to that nature. I mean, you only have 140 characters. It's just like a little, reminder, hey, Everybody, please. Oh, and then I went on to say, and then I said, and don't forget, ISIS has said they will deliver their manifesto from the Oval Office. So that's what I said. Remember to pray for Paris. And don't forget, ISIS has promised they will deliver their manifesto from the Oval Office. And then in quotes, or parentheses, in parentheses, I put note to self, buy more ammo. I thought it was funny, a little harmless, trying to make something that was tragic and horrible, trying to bring some levity into it, right? But in a solemn kind of a way. And I was trying to send a message that here in America, I don't know what the gun control laws are in Paris. I don't know if any of the citizens in that arena were allowed legally to be armed. I honestly don't know. I'm going to research that after the... No, I'm not. I'm going to do it right now. Because things we put off, sometimes they don't get done. Gun control laws in Paris. Donald Trump says tough gun control laws in Paris contributed to the tragedy. Well, I'm sorry I got to go to him. He's not my favorite anymore. What does he say? Donald Trump says the tough gun control laws in Paris contributed to the high death toll during a series of terrorist attacks on Friday. The attacks, he added, also reveal the danger in allowing Syrian refugees into the country. You can say what you want, but if they had guns, if our people had guns, if they were allowed to carry, it would have been a much, much different situation. Trump said to cheers at a political rally. I hear it all the time, you know. You look at certain cities that have the highest violence, the highest problem with guns and shootings and killings. Chicago is an example. Toughest gun laws in the United States. Nothing but problems. So our country better get smart, because we're not smart right now. He needs to stop telling us that we're stupid. That's not the way to win friends and influence people. An armed society is a polite society. By making that comment, Trump doubled down on a message he tweeted in January following a smaller-scale terrorist attack. Isn't it interesting that the tragedy in Paris took place in one of the toughest gun control countries in the world? Well, what are there? Let's just see, rather than rhetoric, let's see. I guess we get nothing here. France, gun facts, gun numbers, death and injury, gun regulation, firearm regulation. How does that differ from firearm law? I guess we'll find out. The regulation of guns in France is categorized as restrictive. Really? Guiding gun control. Right to possess firearms. Oh, in France, the right to private gun ownership is not guaranteed by law. See, in America, it is. They want to take that away from us. In France, only licensed gun owners for certain arms may lawfully acquire, possess, or transfer. Applicants for a gun owner's license in France are required to establish a genuine reason to possess a firearm, for example, hunting, target shooting, personal protection, security. Okay, so you can get a gun. Minimum age is 18, except for sports shooters, 12 and 18. An applicant for a firearm license in France must pass a background check, which considers criminal, mental, and health. In France, third-party character references for each gun license applicant are not required. In France, licensing authorities are not required to conduct interviews with or to advise an applicant's spouse, partner, next of kin. Where a past history or apprehended likelihood of family violence exists. The law in France does not stipulate that a gun license should be denied. France authorities must maintain a record of individuals, civilians licensed, limit on number of guns. All right, so maybe they have some strict regulations, but I mean, you can have a weapon there. Hang on one second. Okay. Give me 1 second, guys. I apologize. All right, you have my apology. Okay, so there we go. That's short below 41.60 crude oil. Okay, GCL Z5. All right, on the first move down, we got down to 41.53. Not enough to get your points for the day, but enough to get your stop to break even or better. On this one, we got down to 55. Okay, so that's enough to get your stop to break even. On this one, we got down to 43. That's 17 ticks. You're done for the day. And then on the next dip, we got down to 41.10. So that's 50 ticks. That's 50 times 10. That's $500 per contract. You with me? Now, right here at 40.50, if we get down to 40.50, that's $1,000 per contract for the day. Right there. That will be 1K on the day. Per contract. Okay? That's if we get down here to 40.50. And so the swing low so far has been, I guess, well, what is it here? Swing low is 40.60. No, wait a minute. I'm sorry. We already hit the $1,000 per day. What was I thinking? See, 41.60 to 40.60. Yeah, $1,000 per contract. So we already did it. Important prices, important areas are almost always tested. 1, 2, 3. What a great day for the crude oil trader. Yeah. Okay. On gold, I think we already kind of looked at gold, but gold we said to be long above 88 or short below 78. And so 78 looks like this. First move down was 24 ticks. Next move down was 9 ticks. You need 10. Next move down was 16 ticks. And then this move down was 100 point. How did I come up with that number? Let's see, 1078. And the swing low was 74.1. Okay, so from 78 to 64, let's do that. 78 to 68 is 10. So that's 14. Oh, Dwayne. I got my mind on something else now. Sorry. 1078. 1078 minus 1064.40. I was doing so good at doing all the math in my head until I got distracted. Okay, so it's 13.6 points, $13.60. So I'll call it 136 ticks. All right. Now, does that mean we have another $1,000 day? Yeah, it does. From 1078 to 1068. $1,000 per contract. Now that's what the market made available. Doesn't mean you made $1,000 if you were trading it. If you were in the trade, and if you trailed your stop at a safe distance, perhaps you picked up $1,000. I mean, you had a shot at $1,360. 1078 to 1068. Now, if we were to drop, to 1058, that would be $2,000. But it is what it is. Okay, let's go to the Russell. I think we're just about done here. All right. Yesterday on the Russell, just an awesome day. We already covered the Russell. Yeah, we already did the Russell. We already did gold. Did we do soybeans? Let's look at soybeans. Okay. On soybeans, long above 866, short below 854. So we haven't done 66, and we haven't done 54. So we've got a big fat no trigger on soybeans today. On the Concierge Alerts, there may be a different story on the OTAD I'll be putting out. So we covered crude. The free trade that was put out Sunday night, it said, I'll give you the numbers for those of you that aren't subscribed. Hang on. Let me go here and go here. Okay. So Sunday night's free trade. Oh wait, I can just show it to you because I've got it on one of these tabs somewhere. Is this it? Yeah. That's not it. Must be over here. There we go. Sunday night at 7 o'clock. It's been 1 day and 19 hours since the trade went out. Consider being long the U.S. dollar above 99.45. Okay. So this is a daily chart, but we can still find 99.45. 99.45. Now, if you want the next free trade, which will come out later this week, today's Tuesday, maybe we'll shoot for Thursday. Okay, free trade, long above, did I say 99.45? That's what I said, long above 99.45. Long above 99.45. Okay, Now, there's no such thing as free money. We all know that. Just because I gave you this trade and just because it did what we thought it would do and blah, blah. I mean, it's put in a swing high now so far of 99.8350. Okay. There's still no, even though the trade is free, and all you have to do to get the trade is to go here and sign up right here. CFRN.net/free Emini trades. Free-Emini-trades. All right. Go there. Now you'll get a email. You've got to click the confirmation link because we believe in double opt-in. We hate spam just like you do. You're going to get an email that will send you to the registration page where you get to pick your own username and password so you don't forget it. All right. Once you select your username and password, it'll automatically roll you over to the countdown page. Now the countdown page, that's the page that I was just showing you. Okay. And as you can see, in fact, I'll set it in motion today and it'll start counting down to whatever time I'm going to give out the free trade tomorrow. And at that time, you'll be able to log into this page. This is a password protected page. You'll be able to log in, get the free trade. Now, that was a nice trade in the dollar. The trade prior to that was the S&P, which dropped or rallied, I forget which, 35 points. Oh, and I keep every one of the free trades. They're all here. So once you register, you can come in and see every one of the free trades that we've done since we started doing them again. I mean, we did them for years, but then we stopped and because we rolled it out as the Concierge Trade Alerts. And so I just started doing it again because I thought it would be nice to give back to the community and just pay it forward a little bit. So, if you want to get in on the free trades, there you go. If you want to participate in the one trade a day, there you go. Now, I mean, I'm not the hard sell guy. I'm not the arm twisting guy. But what was the OTAD yesterday on gold? Was there one? I'm sure there. Well, I know there was. I just don't remember what it was. Let's see. Gold yesterday, the Concierge Trade Alert was $740 per contract. I'll take a peek real quick and tell you what the OTAD on gold was yesterday. I gotta log in. Pass username. Password. Didn't like that. Let's try again. Okay. Guess I better check my passwords. Go. Aha. Maybe I got to use the right password and not last week's password. How about that? Okay. So yesterday, the OTAD was to be long gold above 1087 or short below 1082. Now the alert went out yesterday at 10:30. So 10:30. So that would have been right here. And so we triggered here. Okay, so this was the trigger. I guess that's what this 45 means. From 1082 down to 1080.50. No, that's something different. Oh, that's when I was all right. That was from the 1085. So 1082 was the trigger yesterday, and that triggered right. It's in the video. I did a recap video of everything last night. So 1082 on the right day, the 16th. The 16th, short below 1082. Yeah. So where did that go? 1030. There's 1030. So we come down. Now we hit 1082, and I think that trade the first trade got stopped out. It did. It's on the video, so go watch it. I really want you to watch the recap video from yesterday because we had some phenomenal activity. So the first trade dropped 3 ticks. You got to go 4 to move your stop to break even. The next one, here to here, we dropped down to 1080.50. So that's 15 ticks. Okay, 15. Then important prices, important areas get tested. This time we drop down to 1080.80. So that would be 12 ticks. And then we get dropped down to 11 ticks. And then we kind of just swirl around back and forth. And then we make the big drop. But that was late last night. But the trades were good until the following day. So from 1082 down to 75.60. So that would be 64 ticks. So gold, I'm guessing from this was probably the least productive, but go watch the video because I've got it laid out, every single one of them, okay? S&P, Dow, Russell, Crude, Euro, everything. And for the price, now, let me touch base on this, and I got to run. More than anything, we want to teach you how to trade. Okay? Why? Why do we want to teach you how to trade? I'm going to tell you why. Because once you learn how to trade, you are forever set free. As a CFRN partner, you own the indicator set for life. Once we teach you the very simple strategy that we use with our indicators, you possess that knowledge for life. No one can ever take it away from you. You can't unlearn it. It's never going to break. It's never going to, quote unquote, stop working. It's never going to go out of vogue. It's not possible because the way we devised it is unlike any other methodology. We devised it to be a mirror image of the market itself. And so it would have to be the market that stops working. That's the only way our indicator set and methodology stops working is if the market stops working. So you won't ever be able to point a finger at us and go, your thing stopped working. No, the problem's far greater. The market stopped. Because we're always going to mirror whatever the market does. So once you are set free by learning how to trade, once you own the indicator set and own the knowledge, hey, guess what? You don't need a guru. You don't need a chat room. You don't need anybody to send you anything. Now, the fact that we do the Concierge Trade Alerts and the one trade a days, that's just designed to give you a little bit of help, a little bit of assistance as you're learning how to trade. Now, you may be very busy. You may have a day job. You don't have time to sit down and trade every day. Okay. Then the one trade a day or the Concierge Trade Alerts, that will carry you until you get to the point in your life where you do have the time to learn how to trade. Now, we have a few individuals who they don't have any interest in learning how to trade. They're not intrigued and passionate about the markets. They simply see it as a way to make some money. And, that's okay. to each his own. If that's what you want, if you want my concierge alerts or my one trade a day trades just so you make some money, okay. I'm going to always hope that at some point you realize that it would be better if you actually knew how to trade. So, but I'm not going to push you. I'm not going to press you. If you're content to get the alerts and not put in any time learning, okay, maybe that'll change in 2, 3, 5 years. Maybe your life situation will change. Maybe you'll retire. Or maybe you'll sell your business. And so maybe it'll be a different set of circumstances. And whenever you're ready, we'll be here. Okay? All right. And so the S&P's in a pretty good decline here. Now, I can talk about the S&P Concierge Trade Alerts because those went out last night. Last night on the S&P, we said to consider being short below 2042. So that's just about to trigger if it didn't already. There's 2042. Actually, you got to drop it down one tick, as you know. And so it's 2041.75. Let's see, is that right? Nope. There we go. Okay. So, we'll see what happens there. I can't give you the OTAD number, but I could look at it and just see if it's triggered or not. Okay, today's the 17th. Okay, I should make this a 30-minute chart. Okay, 10:30. Let's go find 10:30. Is that 10:30? Nope. Is that 10:30? Nope. That's 10:30. See, if you follow my cursor all the way down, you can see that's 10. That's the 10 o'clock hour. That's 10:30. That's when the alerts came out. I admit they were 4 minutes late today. I apologize. Someone sent me a scolding email. My time's valuable. You're 4 minutes late. I'm sorry. I was trying to make sure I had it. I went back to double check something because I thought I forgot to do something. And I hadn't. I had it right, and it caused me to be 4 minutes late publishing. And so I'm sorry. I'll always do my best to be on time. Okay, so not being allowed to tell you the number until the video later today. Can I tell you if that thing triggered or not? I can tell you it did. It did trigger on the long side. I'm not going to tell you what happened. I'm just going to tell you it triggered. On the short side, it hasn't triggered yet, but it might. So, I better stop there before I say too much. Get myself in trouble. All right, guys. It's been a great day. I'm so glad to have you all as a part of my life. You know, you've been inviting Michael and I into your homes and into your lives for over a decade. We don't take that lightly. We really don't. Good Lord. There is no shortage of places where you can go for information on the markets. Yeah, I know half of it's, well, whatever. As Grandma said, if you don't have something good to say, just keep your mouth shut. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut. You know, we don't brag, we don't boast, we don't try to tell you how we're the best, blah, blah, or the tallest or the fastest or any of that. We do tell you that, to the best of our knowledge, we're the most transparent. You may not always like what we tell you, but we will always tell you the truth. Even when it's painful, we'll just tell you the truth because you deserve that. And so there'll always be somebody out there who will show you a chart or a graph or something that, potentially makes them look, far more appealing than us. By comparison, we look a little boring. But consistency is a key factor. If a guy can knock one out of the park. Oh yeah, I don't think I've used this in a long time. Now I hope I get this right, and if I don't, I know somebody will correct me. Who struck out? I'm talking baseball. Who struck out more times than anyone else in the history of baseball? Does anybody in the audience know the answer to that question? There you go, Dave. Dave hit it. Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth, who we all know is the home run king, right? Struck out more times than anyone else. How's that possible? He stepped up to bat more often, for number one. I mean, the coach always sent him out when it was his turn to bat. Now, he struck out more times, he hit more home runs. Here's the problem. I mean, that's great for baseball, but in trading, go read the Market Wizards book. Brilliant people, excellent traders, made tons of money, gave it back because they didn't have discipline. They didn't have consistency. Consistency is a byproduct of discipline. And so, do you want to make a lot every now and then and wipe out the rest of the time? Or are you content to have a steady income, a steady stream of income or revenue on a regular basis? Consistency. That's what I'm talking about. Do you want to learn how to be a consistently profitable trader? Now, I wish we could make you a consistently profitable trader, but we can't. We can teach you how to trade, but we can't make you a trader. I can teach my son how to play baseball, but I can't make him a professional baseball player. Now, in that light, you should go read the article, Define Professional Trader. That's an eye-opening article. I think I had some kind of anointing on me when I wrote that, because it really speaks a mountain of truth into the lives of would-be traders, because one of my co-hosts used to always kind of put down the retail trader and some of the things that were said. And so that's what prompted me, and I said so on the radio show the next day. I said, I discussed the subject of professional versus retail trader, and because the professional trader was sort of always getting like, let's all bow down, there's a professional trader in the room. You know what? That's a bunch of hooey. And being a professional trader has nothing to do with the size of your account. It just doesn't. You can have a ton of money and be a knucklehead. You can have a small account and be a dyed-in-the-wool pro. And if you are a pro with a small account, not for long. You're going to build that account over size. You're going to build that account size over time. So, anyway, I've said enough. I'm going to go. Listen, guys, if you're on the trial, Michael had a class this afternoon. If you missed the class, get a hold of him, support@cfrn.net. He'll give you a link. I know that last Thursday's partner meeting, I think it's still not hooked up in the members area. I'm going to take care of that right away. I've got a mentoring session coming up here momentarily. I got to go do that. Thank you all so very much for tuning in today. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.
Jesus wins. God is accomplishing His purpose right now through various means, and it's just sometimes I think we have to pull ourselves back every once in a while and go, oh my gosh, He included me. He didn't just save me from my sin, the depravity of it, the consequences of it, the reality of His wrath being directed towards me. Literally, He saved me not only from something, but to something and for something. He made us all unique, the Bible talks about, not only in our physical traits, but the Bible also talks about that when we come to know Jesus, and this is what Paul is going to argue in Titus 1:1 through 4, is that He created us and uniquely put us in a certain place, in a time, amongst the right people, all for this amazing purpose that He wants to demonstrate through those that He saves who He is. He wants to make sure that this group of people that He just lavishes His love on